to American Baker in Germany, where the ingredients are German and the baker is American. I'm Michelle, and today we are making a Star Wars themed cake because last year someone asked me to make them a wedding cake Star Wars themed, and then it got canceled because of Corona. So I thought, it's been long enough, I really wanted to make that Star Wars cake. So I'm making good on that right now, so let's get started.
Since this isn't for an actual wedding, I'm decorating a cake dummy today. This is an 8-inch cake dummy. I frost it with black vegan American buttercream. I also place it to one side of the cake board. I clean up the stray buttercream. I printed out this Star Wars logo. It's easy to find if you Google it. I roll out some yellow fondant and traced around the words with a pointed sculpting tool. Then I cut it out with a knife. I cleaned the edges with this pointed sculpting tool. Then I placed it on the white space on the cake board. Then I rolled out some white fondant and cut out a whole bunch of tiny stars. My 4-year-old helped. And I placed the stars around the side of the cake. Now I want to make a few starships. I start with 2 balls of white fondant that are the same size. I press them into a circle cutter to make discs of white that are the same size. I smooth the edges off and I use the same circle cutter to cut a piece out of some white fondant, and I cut it into triangle shapes and I place them onto the discs. I smooth them out a bit. I placed a pipe kind of a thing on one side of the ship and a tiny satellite dish onto the other side. I found these details on the photo of the Millennium Falcon. I pressed some circles onto the ships as well as some lines into it, and then I gave it a whole bunch of texture with 1,000 tiny dents. As ridiculous as it seemed, this looked so much better. Then I placed the 2 ships onto the cake, and I made a tiny veil out of white fondant. The original cake was a wedding cake after all. Then I took some black fondant and made a top hat and a bow tie. And I placed it on the second ship to represent the bride and groom. And I used the clay extruder to extrude a whole bunch of tiny thin snakes of black fondant. And I surrounded the letters with them. It may seem like I'm just doing whatever order I feel like it, and it's kind of true, but I'm actually picking out the longest pieces of black and surrounding the longest letters first, just to be sure I can completely surround them in one go and don't have a bunch of seams. love this cake. It's just what I wanted to make for the Star Wars fan couple, although they wanted a Death Star. Maybe I'll make a Death Star cake sometimes. If you would like to see it, let me know in the comments below. For more cakes and tutorials, visit our website at AmericanBakerInGermany.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe for a new cake every week. Hit the notification bell to be the first to know when we upload a new video.